What's up, guys? It is Saturday, March, I don't know, 8th here in South Carolina. Currently the weather is like 75-ish. That's what it's supposed to be today. The only downside is a little bit windy, so if the audio sounds a little wonky, I apologize. But today I thought would be a nice day to bring you guys along to show you one of the most beautiful roads that I've found in South Carolina, which is Highway 97. Where we're getting on is right out of Camden, and we're going to take 97 north and go around Lake Wateree. We'll get up by the dam, and then we'll come back down the other side. The other side, not nearly as pretty as 97, but hey, it's a pretty road in South Carolina, and in a lot of searches I've done, I haven't really found a lot of, I guess, videos of good riding, not for street motorcycles anyway, in South Carolina. Like, there's a lot of ADV stuff up in like northwestern South Carolina, but right here in the Midlands, this is one of the prettiest roads that I've found. I figured while we're cruising along too, I'd take the chance to kind of talk about my motorcycle and the parts that I put on it, how I set it up for comfort for long distance touring. So to start it off, let's talk about the bars. So anybody who has bought a stock bagger from Harley knows prior to 2024, the bars they had on it were like beach bars. Like, they're way down low, they're wide. Which, I mean, if that's your thing, cool, more power to you. I got nothing against you, but for me personally, especially when it comes to low speed maneuvers, when I'm trying to like move around inside parking lots and stuff, like having my hands down and out didn't really do well for me. So I personally like the look of T-bars, so this was a good compromise for that. These are LA Choppers Threshers. They are 12-inch bars, so they 12-inch rise, and they bring my hands closer together than the stock bars. Like, the measurement for the stock bars were 35, I think they were 35 and some change, 35 and a quarter. These are 31 and a half, which that measurement doesn't seem like a lot, but with my hands up and in front of me, closer together, I feel like I have more control on the bike as I'm moving around, especially in those low speed maneuvers. The install for this, it took me, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 hours. A lot of that was because I had never installed bars before. And then, of course, the first set of bars I want to install have these hard bends in them that I've got to try to pull all the wires through and the throttle and everything else. So that part of it, like pulling the wires through, it's not fun. It's not really terrible either. I probably could have, it probably would have been a little bit easier if I would have like de-pinned the wires, but I did not do that. So I just used a like the ceiling fan chain and electrical tape, and I got it in there and it worked just fine. With the bars, I also have the thrashing grips, the little dirt bike grips. I enjoy the fact that they're not as fat as stock grips, which once again goes back to feeling like I have more control over the bike. I don't feel like my hand is out here, like I can actually grip down on it. And then of course I have my, these aren't performance or anything, these are just aesthetic, the Thrashin perch clamps. For the record, I am not sponsored by Thrashin or LA Choppers or any other product that I will talk about on this ride. These are just things that I bought because I bought or I was given that has made my ride more comfortable and has set the bike up the way that I like to ride. coming. We've got trees starting to bloom. Now, granted, the pine trees, they're always the way that they are. But you can definitely see the pollen is about to get ready to start flying, probably in the next couple of weeks. That's going to be, it's going to be fun to try to keep off the bike and the truck wind. This lower part of 97, it's a lot like the normal Midlands topography, geography that you see in a lot of other videos that I'm just riding around or my Instagram posts. But as we get further north, you'll start seeing, as we start getting closer to the base of the Appalachians, the Blue Ridge. As we start getting into the foothills of mountains, you'll start seeing we'll have bigger rocks and things sitting on the side. It looks like the ground will be harder, so the road is, you know, longer curves around, but it's really pretty, which is why I want to take you guys on this ride. Done to my bike to make it more comfortable for me for long distance riding and for comfort is my seat. I have a Saddleman SDC Pro or SDC Gripper Pro SDC Gripper. I don't know. It's a Saddleman Pro Gripper from SDC, designed with SDC. And the thing I like about it, it's got a gel insert, which makes it really comfortable. It also didn't take very long to break in, about 350 miles or so. I'm short. I'm 5'8" with a 32-inch inseam, and the front of the seat is narrow. So unlike the stock seat, which is kind of fat and wraps around the tank, this seat is a bit narrower. So when I come to a stop, or you know, I'm standing the bike up or whatever, I can still flat foot, no issues. It's also the gripper portion of the seat is supposed to hold you in the seat for aggressive riding, so you're not sliding around or anything. I don't ride that aggressively, so I can't attest to that. But I will say that, you know, doing 600 or 700 miles a day in this seat, the seat has performed awesome, super comfy. I would highly recommend it to anyone else that is looking for a seat for their bagger. get to a little area outside of Camden called Beaver Creek, and this is where, well, this is one of the places that you have access to Lake Wateree. You can see a lot of campgrounds here, and then there is part of the lake out there. One of the popular spots in the summertime, so is this place right here. It's called Beaver's Den. You can see they have an outdoor venue and whatnot, and all these boats can pull up along that beach right there, and they can go in, they can eat, they can listen to music, you know, grab a drink. It's also very popular with bikes, so right down there there'll be a lot of bike parking. Something else that I have installed on my bike for comfort, actually I made the decision to buy them right after I rode this road. Well, I rode 97, and then as I was coming back down the other side was rear shocks. So I have changed out the stock Harley shocks with the Olin Screaming Eagle reservoir shocks. I bought those from the Harley dealership and installed them. They're the same length, I believe they're 12-inch, but the reservoir allows me to adjust the stiffness, and it's worked out really well for me. I had them, let's see, I didn't have them when I went down to Daytona, so as I had the bike loaded down, like it was, the shocks bottomed out a little bit more, I guess, or were more likely to. Now with these, anytime I'm loaded down, like my cross country, or this season as I start hitting some of the rallies and I have a suitcase and camera equipment and everything else, it will be, I'll be able to adjust the shock settings to allow me to ride smoother. Something I did right in the garage, it actually was not that difficult. As long as you have a bike jack, I think it probably took me like 30 minutes to install them. And setting the sag can be a little bit difficult by yourself, but all in all, shocks were a great investment, and they're not that difficult to install. So I would recommend them. down into the foothills of where the Blue Ridge, the Appalachians start coming down into South Carolina. Finished this road probably about a year or so ago, and they did a really good job. Super smooth, not a lot of potholes. They still have problems like gravel, but the road itself is really nice. Daytona trip. Number one, handguards. The ones I have are from Admin Black. They're color matched to the bike. The main reason I wanted these was coming back from Daytona, I got stuck behind a couple semis, a couple rock trucks, and I caught more than one rock to the knuckle, and that was not fun. Terrible pain, and it definitely could have been avoided. Another thing that I have is I have a King Tour Pack. I got the King Tour Pack from Harley-Davidson with the correct color codes, color paint match. And along with it, I got a rack. And then from, I believe it was Custom Dynamics, I have a wraparound Tour Pack light, a brake light. And then I have Advan Black, a liner on the inside of the Tour Pack. The reason why I wanted the Tour Pack is normally I ride with a sissy bar. And when I went down to Daytona, I just strapped my suitcase to the sissy bar, and then my backpack, which had all of my camera gear and things, I put on the backside of the sissy bar. Well, one thing that I learned as I was going down there is anyone who uses GoPros know GoPro's camera or GoPro batteries die pretty quickly. So in order to get to my other batteries, I've got to unstrap my backpack, dig into my backpack, find the battery, swap them out, do all those things. I tried to keep them in my saddlebag, but my saddlebags were designated for other things. Also, with multiple cameras, well, now I have multiple cameras. At that point in time, I had a GoPro and I had an Insta360, but it was so much of a pain to try to get the cameras out and set them up and then put them away when I parked the bike somewhere. It was not fun. It made filming more work than what I felt like it needed to be. Now, granted, filming is a lot of work, but I just felt like it made it unnecessary. So the Tour Pack for me was a great idea. I can keep my camera gear in there. When I get to where I'm going, I can take my helmet off. I can lock my helmet in the Tour Pack, and it's just an extra level of protection, I guess. right here. It's even more beautiful, but we haven't gotten to that point yet, and it's Saturday, and I wanted to ride, and I wanted to show you guys this road. As you can see, it's got some twisties to it. It's not super technical. They're not like crazy sharp turns. It's just enough to, you know, lean the bike over just a little bit. Has made my ride pretty comfortable, and the best part was I didn't buy either one of them. So the first thing would be the windscreen. The windscreen is a Memphis Shades. I believe it's a 9 or 10 inch, and Moose had actually bought that for his 2019 Road Glide that he traded in for the 2024. So he had it sitting there, asked me if I wanted it, so I tried it out, and I actually do like it. I can ride, in the summertime especially, I can ride with my visor cracked, and the wind noise isn't super crazy. The next thing, now if you ask Moose, Moose will tell you I stole them. However, I installed them on his 2019, and when he was talking about trading in for a 2024, I told him, if you trade that bike in, I'm taking these parts and I'm installing them on my bike. And I guess he didn't believe me. So when he traded it in, I went out to the parking lot and I took his floorboards and his brake pedal. So these are the Thrashin Bagger floorboards and brake pedal. Now looking at them, yes, these floorboards are large, much larger than the other ones. And they're made here in the United States. They're solid metal, there is no padding or anything like that. But I don't know, it's strange to say, but not having the padding that comes on the stock where, you know, your feet kind of, it vibrates with the bike and, you know, you don't really feel anything. This, I actually feel the road when I'm riding, if that makes sense. When I feel it more, which is kind of helpful for correction, redirection, things like that. And also, because they're so wide, like, they do great as, you know, just aim my foot off of it. I don't really need highway pegs. I can just hang my feet off like this and be perfectly fine. Once again, I am not sponsored by Thrashin, not sponsored by any of the other companies that make these products. Just things that I have on my bike that has made it really comfortable for me for long distance touring. Makes the bike comfortable for me, basically just riding it around. And we are quickly approaching the end of 97, so this is going to dead end into 200. and we are going to hang a left. And what this is going to do is this is going to bring us across the dam, Lake Wateree Dam, or right in front of it, I guess. And then we will start making our way back down to the other side. So this is the Wateree Dam. And to the other side, that goes back into Lake Wateree. So this is a pretty cool little spot. Moose and I stopped here last year and took a couple pictures on Memorial Day, I believe it was. But yeah, this is a pretty cool little spot. I mean, look at old girl. She needs to be cleaned in a bad way. Okay, let's hop back on the bike. We will head back down into Camden. I'm not quite sure the roads because I just kind of make it up as I go. So let's ride. So now I can hang this right and I can go to Rock Hill, which Moose and I have made that ride. It's actually really pretty. But what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and we're just going to keep following back around to the left on 21, and we're going to head back down into Camden. So 97 splits that way, we're going 200. We'll make it back down into Camden, maybe grab some lunch. But we'll experience a little bit more of the, the big rocks and the scenery as we start heading down 200 back down into Camden. Now this road is not the same, it's not maintained the same as 97 was on the other side. Actually, this is the road that convinced me to go buy rear shocks to make my ride a little bit smoother. So welcome to Great Falls, South Carolina. Oh, that's a nice welcome. Come over the hill to police lights. So we're gonna hang a left at this light. So we're gonna take 200? 21 is really what we want to follow. 21 is where we're gonna be heading back towards Camden. And I I guarantee you, once we get down in here further, I'm going to mess this up. The last time Moose and I were down here, I think we ended up at like I-77 or something. I have no idea how we got there. But yeah, it'll be fun. It says it's 70, let's see what this, 75 degrees in March. It's a beautiful day. So let's just go put some miles on the bike.
Alright guys, well, 34 heading back into Camden, and unfortunately for me, both of my cameras died, so I just wanted to say, hey, thanks for riding along. Hopefully you got to see some of the pretty cool, pretty geography here in South Carolina. If you enjoy the video, I really hope that you like, subscribe, hit that little bell. That way when I upload new content, you get notified. And follow me on Instagram at More Than The Ride. You can see posts, snippets, things like that I don't always get to upload to YouTube. So thanks for following along, and see you guys in the next one. Later.